Hello, statistical scholars. I've got myself here in student preview mode. That's why you see this giant orange bar at the top of your screen. This is a little tool that allows me to show you a version of Blackboard that looks like what you see as a student. However, there are some things in here that I'm going to show you that might not look the same on your end as they do on mine. So what I want to take you through today is a little bit of a preview through what your MyStatLab is going to look like and how your homework looks. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Homework/MyStatLab. Now the first time you click on this, if you're not registered with MyStatLab yet, you will not see what I see here. This is the first thing that will look different. Um, What you'll see is the option to link a Pearson MyStatLab product to your class, and you want to go ahead and click on that. And if you have an existing code that works, it'll immediately take you into the course, which is what you'll see me look at next. If not, you will need to pull out your code that you purchased, which is the only thing you had to purchase for your materials for this course, and use it at this time to register yourself for the class. Now, if you're not sure if you want to purchase the code yet or you need to delay it for a little bit, there is an option to do a free trial code, and I did talk about this in the I forget the name, the intro video. So it's a little bit hard to spot though. Usually it's a picture. Usually it's a little picture in the middle that says, "Oops, you need to buy our code." Or you need to buy a code for this course, which you can do right then and there. You don't have to buy it from the bookstore. And then right below the image is a little blue hyperlink, and it is fairly small font. And I can't get into this because I already have a code. There'll be the option for the free trial. Go ahead and click on that. It'll set up a free trial. Whatever you do, make sure you save the email you get when you sign up for the free trial, because that is the email that you will use later to sign up for the full version of the course should you wish to do so. So make sure you keep that, and it's the easiest way to do so as well. Now let's take a look at what you have for homework. So I'm going to click on all assignments right now so you can see what the homework looks like. Come on. Oh, right now there's nothing. Yay! So typically it'll show up with your list of assignments, and since our class hasn't started yet, there's no assignments here, and it'll give you due dates and things like that. I am saying a lot. I need to stop that. However, you can also go ahead and take a look at the study plan right now if you want to. And it's like, oh, what are we going to cover? Here's everything in the class. And one thing that's interesting about this is it does give you the entire course, but you'll notice certain things are pinned. These are things that I've gone in and played with. If you have no pins, that's because you're brand new. Yay! And also, the pinned items here are things that I recommend you study. So if you're somebody who's never used a online homework software before, at this point, what I would recommend you do is go ahead and go into the orientation. So this is the answering exercises orientation. I'm going to click this and open it real quick. And this is typically what your homework will look like. It'll give you a bunch of questions, and then you can go ahead and click on them as you want to. So I'm going to click on one and just give it an answer randomly so you can see what happens when you get one wrong. Okay, and this is very typical. So this one I picked, I forgot that this one looked like this, because it has stages you have to go through. So here's the first step. This comes up, you'll hit continue. Oh, look, here's another thing. It makes you note, hey, if you see the little button, you can use the help. There's that little button in case you're looking for it. It's kind of small and in the corner, so watch out for that. It does appear a little bit bigger if you zoom in on your screen. An easy way to do that is if you are on a PC, you can hold down the control key and then roll your mouse forward or hit the up arrow. Not the up arrow, sorry, the plus button on your keyboard, or the minus button. Now, if you're on a Mac, rather than holding down the control key, you'll hold down the command key, which, is it command or is it the one that looks like a box with 4 circles attached? It might be one or the other. I hate how I can't ever remember what the name of that button is on the Mac keyboard, but that's the correct one. The square with a bunch of circles on it, on each corner. Anyway, so see how things got a little bit bigger? Sometimes it's much easier to read when you do that. So this is my screen zoomed in like 125%, a little bit more readable. Oh, this one has lots of stages. Let's hit continue. All right, let's type a wrong number in our box. So the last part of this question is what I want to get to. Type the number 1 in the answer box. Okay, let's do that. Type her on in there. Here's the option you want. Check answer. Let's check it. Oh, I got it right. Cool. Entering stuff. Continue on to the next part. And then type numbers as shown in the pop-up. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to purposely get this part wrong so you can see what that looks like. Let's put 572. I'm just hitting buttons. Oh no, I got it wrong. So that's what it looks like if you get it wrong. So at this point, I'm going to actually close this question because I want you to see what it looks like. Oh, here we go. It took me right out of it. Normally it takes you back to the screen. So it has this little icon that shows, well, it's not looking the same as it did last week. That's fun. Normally what this will show up is it'll be a green and red icon, which means you have part of the question correct, so that you'll know which ones you have partially correct. If you have a red icon, that means you got the whole thing wrong. If you have a green icon, you got the whole thing right. Don't go do that question again. And you can jump around. Let me show you how you jump around. Let's say I wanted to do like number 7. I don't even remember what number 7 is. Oh, it's a graphing one. This is where we got to move points. So I got to take this, click and drag and move it up to the point, and da-da! Yay. Let's check our answer. I got it right, yay. Anyway, you can click to enlarge graphs. That's what these buttons are for. It's kind of fun. And here's another way you can navigate in a question to move things around and see if you want to go someplace else. So you notice I have a green check on 1.7. I've got this little weird pink thing on number 1. Let's jump over to number 12 for fun. I'm getting tired of this. Oh, I need a break. Let's stop doing homework. Okay, so that's the study area. And again, if you're unsure, or if you've never used online homework before, you might want to practice some of this area stuff just because it's getting used to how to type it all in is a big thing with that. Oh yeah. So that's great and everything if you're looking to do homework. Let me show you another aspect of the course. So you'll notice I'm clicking back, you can't quite see this on my screen, to our Blackboard course shell, which is right here. And there's 4 things here. Pearson announcements we're never going to use, but if you ever notice that Pearson's acting kind of wonky or your homework's not loading correctly, it's not a bad idea to check here to see if everything's running smoothly. Boy, this is going slow today. No announcements. Usually if Pearson is down or is experiencing some kind of bugs, this is where it'll appear. So it's just nice to know. All right, let's go to the middle one. This is the one I use more as an instructor and what I would recommend you actually use as a student as you go forward. The My Course Home, because it takes you into everything. Now, My Course Home looks a little bit different than what you're going to see because mine's the instructor version. I can't make it to the student version, unfortunately. So mine shows your homework assignments and when they're due and how you guys are doing in the gradebook. This will show how you're doing in the gradebook instead of everyone like what I see. And the other thing is I have more buttons over here on the side than you do. You won't have any instructor use resources. You should still have all these course tools and things like that. So what I want to show you is how to get to the ebook at this time. So if we click onto chapter contents, it takes you into all your chapters. So we're going to start out in chapter 1, which is fun, and we end in chapter 14. So let's go to chapter 14 just so you can take a look at what it looks like. I'm going to click on 14 and it's got it by section. So if you've already read through like section 2 and you need to read section 3, you can go straight into 3. Also, there's all these lovely extra things you can click on. There's some case studies you can read if you want some more like hardcore specific applications of our stuff. There's the exercises that are in the textbook. You see those in the homework version of this anyway, so you don't need to do that. But if you're looking just to like study a little bit, a summary and the key terms are great to use for that because they're shorter versions of the chapter. Let me take you into the ebook real quick. So let's go ahead and go into 14.3, which is funny because like, oh, wait, we don't cover 14.3. Let's do 14.2. All right, so if you want, you can watch a video presentation on this. We have our own videos in the class. These video presentations are actually pretty old and a little outdated. They don't match the text anymore, so I wouldn't recommend using them. But if you're bored on a Friday night and you need a video to watch instead of YouTube, maybe check that out. Anyway, so we want to click on eText. Sometimes this takes a little bit to load, depending on the first time you use it. Gemo. I should have opened this up ahead of time. Maybe I'll cut this part out while we're waiting. Do, 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 do. Oh, it's blocking it. That's why. Done. I'm going to have to do this a second time. Sorry, I recently got a new computer because my hard drive crashed. Mine was 5 years old anyway. It needed to be done. Come on, baby. There she goes. Oh, it took me right to the beginning. It's not supposed to do this. Okay, if it does this to you, click the little 3 lines menu on the side. Go over to the chapter you want. I wanted to do 14 and 14.1. Oh, no, wait, I wanted 14.2. Oops. Oh, I clicked on the right one. There we go. So there's the chapter. Some nice things about this is you can zoom this in if it's too small. You can highlight things. It's kind of nice. You have your own little notebook here where you can take some notes about what you're looking at, that kind of stuff, and a whole history of actions that you've taken and where you've been. And you can save your spot. So that's what this little button right here. Add a little bookmark. Ta-da! So if you want to do that, you can in your textbook. And this is the exact same book that students who buy the hardcover will see. You do not need to buy the hardcover copy of the textbook. It will let you print a limited number of pages if you want to do that. So there you go. So if you know you're going to be on a bus ride to your game and you need to study for some statistics, you can print a couple pages, bring those with you to review and look over, and you can take a look at the examples and stuff and look at the graphs, and you get the idea. Anyway, so that's the textbook and how do you get to it. So now I'm going to go back to my main menu. The other place I want to show you that is something that students frequently miss about this that can help you in the course is if you go into assignments. So again, you're going to see the instructor version for a second. Nope, it didn't do it this time. Good. If you click on all assignments and tell it to go to quizzes and tests, you'll see all these pre-tests and pre-made questions that you can use to help yourself review. These are just reviews that were made by your textbook author. So it has everything in there, not just the stuff we're going to do. So if you want, you can do a little review quiz to make sure that you're up to snuff on your questions and understanding the material. So this is a little big. Hold on a second. Let me make it bigger. Oh, that graph's kind of hard to read. Let's make it bigger. Oh, I didn't like that. Let's pop it out. There we go. That's easier to read, isn't it? Okay. You get the idea of how to do this, which is very important. I'm going to leave. Okay. You can do these an infinite number of times. They do not count against your grade. You can use them as good ways to practice if you have all your homework done, or if you're trying to get ready for the test and your homework's already over. So once it's past its due date and you've submitted everything, reviewing it's actually kind of hard to do. So, you know, having this other opportunity for practice is helpful. There's also some lovely stuff like the Tools for Success that'll take you into some other review tutorials, and this is the data sets for our textbook if you need those. What else do I want to say? The multimedia library also has some videos on how to do some statistics stuff. We're going to use this a little bit for our discussion boards, so just so you know where that's at. Do not use the discussions on here because, well, it's empty on purpose because we're not doing them on here. We do them on Blackboard. Okay, so there is a brief little, oh, that's my schedule. Oops. There is a brief little review of how to use MyStatLab for you, which is your homework. This is different from Minitab, which are your Minitab assignments that appear in your weekly folders. Yes, you have two types of weekly assignments that you have to do for this class. And that's about it. Thank you for listening. Hope this helped you. If you have other questions about the course and signing up for MyStatLab, please don't be afraid to contact me. My email is on your syllabus, but just in case you forgot it, it's BARRR, there are 3 R's, @northwood.edu.